can tell you the exact moment one of my relationships died. It was a heart-wrenching moment for me. And it happened in a couples counseling session. She had asked us, like, what were some things that bothered us about each other, and I was saying that one of the things that bothered me is that when my partner did the dishes, we didn't have a disposal, so we used a little wire mesh strainer in the sink drain. And I said that one of the things that bothered me was my partner, when she finished washing the dishes, wouldn't empty that strainer. And so there'd be like clumps of food down there at the bottom of the sink that would start to rot, and it'd be really gross. And that I was always having to, whenever she did the dishes, I still had to do that part of it for her. And my partner said, "Oh, I don't do that." And I had been trying so hard to make this relationship work. We'd gone to multiple couples counselors and been trying so hard to break through and get to a place of authenticity with each other where we could actually solve our problems. And in that moment when she said, "Oh, I don't do that," and I'm thinking, you've been doing that for years. Of course you do that. You do that almost every time you wash the dishes for years. And that's the moment it broke for me. That's the moment where I said, man, if this woman cannot get real about the dishes, then what hope do I have that she's going to get real about like bigger things and more important things? And I felt it break in my heart, and I just announced to my partner and to the couples counselor, I'm done. That was the last attempt, and I'm done now. I'm not going to keep trying. This relationship is now over. And the counselor said, okay, fine. And I drove home with my partner in that painful silence that, as you could imagine. And when we got home, both of us just walked into the house without saying a word. And first thing I did, can you imagine what it was? Is I walked right over to the sink and I just looked in and confirmed that the dish strainer was filled with gross food particles, just like I thought it would be. But I needed to see it, because I just ended a relationship. And when someone tells you, oh, I don't do that, over and over and over, it starts to make you question your sanity, I would literally think, am I just hallucinating? I mean, I know I'm a little weird, but am I actually nuts, If that couples counselor had pressed a little bit, if she had said, really? You never do that? You never leave food in the strainer? Is that really true? If she'd pushed just a little bit, we might have had a different result. If that was her approach, not just that one incident, of course, but if her approach as a couples counselor was to push a little bit, to play the judge a little bit, then we might have had a different result. We might have saved that relationship, which would have impacted a lot of people in a really beneficial way if we could have saved it and get it working. But couples counselors, in my experience, don't do that. They don't want to take sides. They don't want to make anyone uncomfortable. They don't want to give the appearance that they're picking a side, and they don't want to pressure anyone where they don't want to go. We want everyone to stay comfortable. But when they do that, they're actually not being a counselor. They're being a comforter. And a comforter is not usually what couples need when their relationship is breaking apart. They need someone with courage and strength to step in and get the two people to look at what they're not looking at. Because that's why the relationship is falling apart. It's only falling apart because one or both are refusing to look at something. And it's sad and amazing how common that is in couples counseling. In my experience, because I've been into a lot of couples counselors, they want to keep it 50-50. It's not always 50-50. Sometimes one of the partners is speaking the truth and the other one isn't. And taking the side of truth is very important. And it could switch. The next incident you're talking about could be the other person telling the truth. So you're not picking a person over the other person, but you're picking the truth over confusion and falsehood.